So a couple of days ago, I published a video showing you how to share data between multiple pages in TanStack Start and in TanStack Router using the context API. The thing is, I have figured out that there's actually a big problem with that approach. So in this video, I want to show you the right way of doing that. And I have asked Tanner Lindsley personally how to do it, and he showed me a really cool trick on how to do it. So just in case you didn't watch my previous video, I want to give you a quick recap of the situation. So this is the situation. I have this website which is built with TanStack Start. It's actually the newsletter TanStack Weekly, and this is the page/issues, and here we just have a list of the previous newsletter issues. And when you navigate to an issue, you're going to see that we have these buttons in the top, next and previous. And for this, we are also using the same data that we are using in the previous page. And here we are actually at issues/ID. Now, since I am using a third-party API, which is in this case Resend, I didn't want to make this request every time that you are navigating back and forth between these screens. And if you look at the code, you're going to see that you are calling literally the same function in the loader of the first page, the index page, as well as the second page. So that's just one unnecessary call that we are making. So one solution for that is to just create one parent component or route. In this case, it's going to be issues.tsx, and this is going to wrap all these children. And inside of this new route, we can pass in this function beforeLoad. And beforeLoad is just used to add more data to the context. And inside each one of these routes, we can just access this function and get access to this data. So we don't need to fetch it twice. But the problem with this approach is that every time that you are navigating back and forth, literally to any page that uses this data from the context, you're going to see that the function is being called every time. Here I have just added this console log just to debug the issue. And that's something that I was unaware of. And this means that we still have the same problem as before. We are not sharing data, we are reloading the data inside every page navigation. So let me tell you about how to fix that. But before that, let me tell you about today's video sponsor, which is TestSprite. TestSprite is one of the easiest ways to test your code using AI. You can connect their MCP servers to your code editor, and once that's done, you can use it to create feature specifications. You can turn that into literally logical steps that the user would follow and turn all of that into a real end-to-end test using Playwright, for example. TestSprite is really flexible. You can jump in at any moment and make adjustments. Check out their starter plan, which not only uses the advanced models, it also happens to be free in the first month. Check it out at testsprite.com. Thanks to TestSprite for sponsoring this video. All right, so in order to fix this issue, we're going to move this data loading back to the loader. And here we are inside /issues.tsx. So I'm going to call loader, and the data is right now available in the loader. And inside the subroutes, which is index.tsx, you can see that we are getting an error because use route context doesn't include the data anymore. And instead of this, we're going to use a hook, and this one is use loader data. And use loader data comes from TanStack Router. And as you've seen in other routes, there is also route.use loader data. So if you call route.use loader data, you're getting the data of the loader of this route, and this is the route that is defined up here. But if you call just the function use loader data that you imported from TanStack Router, you have the possibility to say from which route you actually want to load the data. And this is the trick actually. So I'm just gonna say I want it to be from /issues. And as you can see, there's actually two variants here. There's issues and then there's issues with a slash. And we want the parent one, which is without the slash. So I'm going to select that one. And as you can see, the data is now there again. And we're going to do the same thing inside the other route. So let's go back to $ID. Down here, we're not going to load the issues from route.use context, but we're going to get the data from use loader data. And here I'm just going to define it. So issues, we can deconstruct it in place. And let's import this as well from TanStack React Router. And let's go ahead and open the browser and see if this works as we're expecting it. Okay, so let's navigate back and forth to different pages. And as you're going to see, this is actually still being called at every page navigation. Even when I go back to the main page or to the list page, you're going to see every time there's a new call called getIssues function. And the reason behind that is that TanStack Router has a stale time set to 0 by default, which means that the caching is basically off. But you can enable it, and for that we can just go to the component that we want to have caching in, and I'm just going to add stale time, and let's set it to 5 seconds, for example. I'm going to save this, and let's see if this fixes the problem. Let's navigate back and forth, and as you're going to see, this is not making that call anymore. We just got it once. I think if you wait 5 seconds, let me just say 1 or 2 things till 5 seconds pass, and now if I navigate, you should be able to see it. But if I navigate back and forth pretty fast, then you're gonna see that the function only gets called maximum once every 5 seconds. By the way, if you are interested in TanStack Start, then you should definitely check out my course, Master TanStack Start, which helps you build modern, type-safe, full-stack React applications using TanStack Start. We go through all the basic building blocks together with examples and challenges. It's going to be really cool. I'm really excited. You can already join the waitlist now and also lock in 20% off when it's launched. You have literally nothing to lose. I'm going to put the link for that in the description. And if you don't want to miss out on everything that happens inside the TanStack ecosystem, then you should definitely check out TanStackWeekly.com. It's a free weekly newsletter that I sent to keep up with everything that happened in the TanStack world. It's a free newsletter that I sent every week. You can also find the link for that in the description below. And if you have been wondering why everyone is switching from Next.js to TanStack Start, then you should definitely watch my latest video. Thanks for watching and see you over there. Ciao.